When I asked the Air Force doctor for birth control, the doctor asked me if I was married, and I said no. And then he asked if I was in a serious relationship, to which I also replied no. And he said, then you don't need birth control. I am a sister, a daughter, a wife, a veteran. I had a mom who was very much trying to assimilate into American culture, and a grandmother very deeply rooted in our Mexican heritage. I always felt like I lived in between. So I would be listening to Selena and Los Tigres del Norte at home, but at school I'd be like, oh my gosh, do you not love the Spice Girls? Sexuality when I was growing up, my mom was very open about it, and I knew I could always come to my mom if I had a question, but my grandmother very much was, being a virgin is everything, and you save that for marriage, and sex is bad. You just only do it for children. I know I wanted to serve since 9/11. I remember walking the hallways of my school and just being so confused, but wanting to do something. I enlisted in the Air Force in 2006. I, at this point in my life, was very sex positive. I think sex was great. I had just learned how to have an orgasm. My life was so crazy at that point. I had just left Korea, and then I had received orders for deployment originally to Iraq. And I was like, all right, let's get everything going. So I was ready to get my items into storage. I had taken everything out of my apartment, and that's on one trip to Walmart, I realized something is not the way it's supposed to be. So I took a test and found out I was pregnant, and all I kept thinking was I was letting my team down, and I was mortified that I'd be going back to the unit and they would be like, she's pregnant, and then just replace me. I knew I wanted an abortion, but I couldn't go to a military doctor. Preparing for deployment is a very costly endeavor. I ended up spending quite a bit of money just getting new gear. So by the time that I realized that I needed this procedure, I was broke. I didn't know what to do. I was at the end of my rope. I called Planned Parenthood, and I remember calling the North Dakota office. They referred me to a clinic in Minnesota. So I had to drive 4 hours, and then I would have to wait 3 days. I also thought, where am I gonna stay? So the only option was my car and eating crackers and Gatorade. I'm like, we're going cheap. Like I need to have enough gas to get me back to work after all of this is done. And there was the option to be awake or not awake, but the not awake version cost $150 more. And I was like, yeah, that's not gonna happen either. After the abortion, I wish I could say I had enough time to process exactly what had happened, but we literally went right into a war. I threw myself into work, and I saw the benefits of it. I saw things that will forever change my life, and I had experiences that have made me who I am. And when I did deal with it, I just kept thinking, like, I should feel guilty. Maybe I should feel guilty. Maybe I should feel sad about this. Maybe there's something really wrong with me. And it took a really long time to figure out that there wasn't. I had made the best decision for myself. And part of comprehensive sex care and health care is abortion.